I was hoping BAT would have come too. I invite BAT to come. So at least them go see when it having shows, and them club shows would have be able to fit in as well, right? But again they're not here. But let me deal with who here. So I've proposed dates for the show so far. Between Presal and Santa Cruz, we could switch these dates, because Santa Cruz normally having the first show for the year. It's like a normal thing, but I guess even nobody representing them here right now. So we starting the season off on the 9th of March, which is the weekend after Carnival. If people can check it on their phone, they realize Carnival falling on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th around that time. So the weekend after Carnival we will start it off. So Presal set for the 9th of March or Santa Cruz. It will be either we switch with Santa Cruz being on the 23rd. The weekend after that would be a long weekend, which is the... No, that's not a long weekend, sorry. The weekend after that will be the 30th. So they'll basically have another 2-week gap for the 6th of April. Let's see that. The 6th of April will be Joseph show. So it's 3 top shows, one after the other. Then 2 weeks later would be 2 weeks later would be Bar Boys, which was set for the 27th. No, there will be 2 weekend gap in between. Just for Bar Boys show, which is set for the 27th. They keep our show basically on the same date they want it. Yeah, they get an annual date, right? Sorry. Well, Crown Street Boys and Joseph, that's you know. Sorry. Joseph one scheduled for the 6th of April. Nothing on the 30th. Yeah, that weekend is supposedly Eid. Right? We will sort out between ourselves. No, it's either both of us swapping. It's no date changing. It's no date changing. It's the show itself is either Presal on one day or Santa Cruz on that day. So one take one take the other. Right? That is all it is, right? Yeah. Huh? We didn't set alternate dates for ourselves. But on this year now, if guys want to change their date, we could alternate. But by one person changing the date, it go throw off another guy. You understand? So that's why we're trying to keep it, this way. So we pass. Right. So Bar Boys on the 27th of April. And so far everything is, if not one weekend in between, it's 2 weekends in between. Right?
Weekend has been nice.
Yeah.
You don't know to
Yeah. So we enter May. Right, so Central, we're gonna do a new show in Central. This is together with Robin and the guys who are in Central, and we proposing a date in May, which is the 18th of May. So it have a big gap between Bar Boy show. They have two solid weekends in between. Now the May show could alternate. The date for the May show very much in the air. We have Bushman wanted to do one in Petersfield. I was supposing the Eco Park show. The Northmen. Where Can, yeah. The North, right. So yeah. So the Northmen. Right. Anyway, Right. Right. So beyond that, so May very much open. June pretty much open. And we have 2 shows coming after that. West Side, probably one of the end shows, closing off on the 10th of August. And we having another show for Dinesh Pet Store, Seema. Her date is the 6th of July. So them dates confirmed. All the dates are called so far confirmed. So this is where we leave opening for Rami. Rami is a person like to have a show in May. No Rami. 6th of July is Seema, which is our new show, right? So the new shows would generally be the guys in Central sometime in May. There's nothing carded for June. And we have July and August. And the only one in August being West Side on the 10th of August. So, no, as long as the space available, we still have people like Naparima, Yardman from Arima, the fellas who had shows next year who say they would be here and not here. Nigel and Rambo still to confirm. I was just waiting on Rambo to confirm. But this is the right. Even Mervyn having an issue with the velodrome, so he was looking for another venue. But Arima Bird Club still want to have a show. But it have 6 people on our list here, where their dates will have to come in after, or they would have a 15 between in May and June. Naparima, Yardman, Mervyn, Rami, Pahari, Nigel and Rambo, North Eastern. So, right. So the point 14 show we have carded for the 29th of June. I forgot to mention that. So again, what I do now is set a timetable, set out this, put it on the chat, and show the available dates for shows. So for the men who are not here, if they want to fit in, these are the dates to fit in. But we're not allowing men to come and fit in between the 9th and the 23rd. We're not allowing, like, so you got 3 weekends, show after show. If you had to fit in, you have to fit in a month where it have a space 2 weekends apart.
That's right.
Right. And I called 6 so far. Yeah. Well, this is the thing. They should have been here to at least or send a representative. There are nobody for Naparima here. Right. But even Bat. Where is Bat today? I asked the right. No. But beside that, right? Forget them is one thing you're saying, right? But had they been here, they would have seen when the open shows is, and they would have known when to set their things. I know. But this, you know why I asked you to come here today? It's not about controlling things or anything like that, you know. It's just so people will have an idea of, listen, we don't want to have shows every weekend. That's what it is, you know. So far, it have probably about 7 shows confirmed for next year. Yeah.
What you going to tell them for them holding our show?
We can't tell them anything. But again, what they're doing now is it have plenty men who in clubs and who is come open shows. And it's stressful on a man to go this weekend I here, that weekend I here, the next weekend. By the time they're done the 6-7 weekend, one after the other. So I was even willing to say, alright, but having this show in this area here, let me leave out a 3 weekend or a 4 weekend to accommodate them. But again, not everybody on the same page here. As is most things in Trinidad, unity is a big problem with plenty things. So, but who here? We dealing with who here and what we have in front of you right now, right? So, the conclusion of this is now I have 7 shows confirmed for next year on 7 dates. If in fact these dates are a change, right? So this is what I'm about to say now. If it is that changes are to come about, the first step would be alternating with another show, right? That would be the first option for people. So let's say Barboys for some reason they can't do their show on their day and they're willing to switch with Joseph and Concrete. The easiest thing is to do a switch on their days. If not, then we go back to the timetable and we switch on our weekend. That is the simplest way. right?
Or if somebody pull in.
Or let somebody pull in and we move the show later down.
It's still early in the year, right? From next year, of course. Up on our side, we have to get permissions from Forest Space Reduction
Right.
Corporation,
Right.
Both for Rangers, because we collaborating with SEMA
Right.
and in Town Day.
Right.
So that's the only, we don't really see the dates moving.
Yeah.
Forest Space
But that's
Reduction.
what would change all the things.
Yeah, that's
Right.
the only thing I would change
Right.
our stuff.
Right.
The government.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. So even that is fine.
Alright, cool.
Right, and because a little later down in the year, it's more flexible because the show is not, as you watch, we're trying to start it earlier this year. To accommodate last year, I had 14 shows. And it was weekend after weekend. We're trying to get away from, I can't say the amount, but we're trying to get away from the weekend after weekend thing. Because they're taking a toll on everybody, right? So our next thing, so now that the dates out anyway, right.
One more time, real car show.
Right, so the next thing going forward now, besides now that dates kind of sort out, I'm gonna form a chat with all the just the men who hosting shows. Now the reason for doing this is for men to be able to assist each other, to organize and adjust, right? And this is basically like a show executive in a sense, where all right, Prisal have a certain amount of pools. We have 40 pools. We willing to lend anybody it. We charging a fee of $100 to borrow the poles, which at the end of the season would be able to paint and keep the poles in a certain way. It's a minimum fee. I know Bushman have his boards, and Bushman is of the same view as well. Nari and them have their own boards. Plenty people have their own personal things, but I think it's pointless for clubs to continue to make poles and boards when we could all share it amongst each other, right?
So we don't need to make people poles,
No, you don't. I don't think so, right? But what you could do is look at where we're lacking. So if we're lacking on a rope to do the arena, we know, well, all right, Cebu and Westside have a rope. Everybody can access it. And it's simple to put it on the executive chat where, hey, we need this, we need that. And this is our way how next year, men could, one team, I think next year we should try and do is each team sponsor a trophy in everybody else's show. This will help with sponsorship. Yeah, this will help with sponsorship across the board. So if it's 7, say it have 7 confirmed right now, everybody should be able to sponsor at least one trophy to everybody else, right? Again, it gonna have ideas people could put forward now. I alone can't think of everything. Everybody else's opinion here. What do they think we could do to help it and to make it smoother and easier? Anybody? The door open.
For what? What time? Anyway, when you're done with your talk.
No, but what do you think?
The main issue we keep seeing all the shows. When you tell them I work with the objector, one of the things is like our seating issue and all too.
Right.
Men engineering, no objector. We
Right.
objector.
Right.
We comment.
Right.
Right, that we keep saying, right?
Right.
So we have to work on that. Next thing is to, when you say, alright, everybody reach to the ring,
Right.
you ready to hang, one man missing. Comment, right on the ring.
Right.
So I was thinking, you waited long. I was thinking to have everybody reach by the ring, and then they say I'd enter, and when they enter that, you lock it off. Nobody come in.
Right. So it had two ways to deal with that, Joe. From the experience before, you're not allowed to enter the ring without your objector next to you. So that's one way of dealing with that. Right. So we're trying to stamp that, right? And I think it's only while it's in process we could try and fix them things, right? If men know, now men is use that to their advantage, right? The fact that everybody done waiting inside there and you come in last to going inside it. It's easy to have a standby bird on the side to come in and fit in the full in the gap one time, right? And I think we could try and implement that better this year, where we see a man drifting all along so, and he knows he's supposed to be inside there, but now you lost your entry money and he ain't coming in inside. If you can fall in, because one man shouldn't be putting everybody else at a disadvantage, right? So that is one of the things.
If they not come in, say something.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you have a problem,
Yeah.
when you come to register,
Yeah.
have the numbers there,
Yeah.
put your number when you register.
Right.
So you know where you're going at advance.
Right. That's a good idea, and we tried to use it before, and
Like that. Pull your number.
yeah.
What you get there?
Yeah.
That's what I in your brain, and you know what pull
Right, right. But you see, what has happened, right, is we're not guaranteed to have X amount. We're not guaranteed to have 10 entrants in some things. So sometimes I might pull one, and it have nobody else has one to go up. So
When we pull 10.
Right.
Go by one.
right, but we try that in pre-sale, right? And I will tell you. So we try, if it is you don't have a number one, and it have one number one and one number two, we tell people, well, one go by two. It causes real chaos. I'm being honest. So when all your registration close, we look at the numbers it have, and that's where we know, well, all right, it have 10 pairs, we put that in a thing and we tell you pull. So that's how we move beyond that. Right? No, but it's a good suggestion, Naki. Right?
We're saying something about the objector. I go with the objector. I put
Right.
it. I find with the objectors, a man walking with objector is not good.
Right.
But
It could be a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say you running against Bushman, right?
Yeah.
And not you run against.
No,
you run
wait,
against me.
right,
I bring a normal fella because I
Right.
bring an experienced good man.
Right.
I walk with objector, so I bring a brethren.
right,
You know, will it intimidate my objector? I see
right.
during
It
my
happens.
objector now fall like a bird.
Right.
So sometimes
Yeah.
some men who run it, they can't allow
Right,
for
so-
me, allow a man to bring objector. You are the bring objector to deal with that.
Right,
So the
right.
men
So this, right. So this is if somebody better. So I agree. The guys that walking around and watching the overall thing, when they see it happen in Joseph's show, good example. Objectors was being switched when you know this guy is this one partner and they are allowing certain things. You just switch. It was simple enough.
So that
Right.
man is intimidated. That
Yeah.
birdmen just on the bird, you know. You watch
Yeah.
your objector on the right. Boy, I catch a mugu today, boy.
Yeah.
Now what you bring?
Yeah.
What? I know
No, but-
you get the man no run.
Yeah.
Well, you know what bird? Well, I see know what bird. You know the bird take the damn phone, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we. Yeah. So moving forward, I think plenty of the issues with the format. I think over the whole of last year we adjust the format. Clubs try different thing with Brongbird 2 o'clock in the day, and I think we set the format proper. With regards to the Brongbird, one round system which we are accustomed to over the time. I think on the day, if we have enough objectors and it has run fair, we could keep it at one round. But anytime there's a large amount of Brongbirds and a lot of big numbers come in, I think it's only fair that it have 2 rounds for the Brongbird. But again, it is optional. But it is optional for the person who is having the show and the way they're doing the thing. Which is maybe. See the time they take. The time on our morning is a different thing, right? Yeah. Wait a minute, well, you see, look at the amount of Brongbirds it had last year in certain times. Yeah. Yeah. Right. 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 Our next thing, moving forward from that, our next thing that we realize is working better is when you have 8 birds going forward, 10 birds going forward, 12 birds going forward. We move beyond the stage of just 6 birds going forward. When you have a larger amount, you give more people a chance to win, right? Yeah. Yeah. The standard time is 15 minutes. Right, but what changes it? Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right.
see it going on.
Right?
One drop a rainfall.
Yeah.
All of them say 7 minutes. I never
Yeah.
hear anyone on
Yeah. Right. So
No, it's not supposed
it's not supposed to.
It's not supposed to.
Right.
It's not 10 minutes. What is 3 minutes?
Right.
3 minutes is plenty.
Yeah. Especially for birds that are starting late. Is a good point.
So all you understand one thing is,
Right.
16 minutes.
Yeah.
When you have people around 14 minutes,
Yeah.
1 round, 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And you know, the first round, 15 minutes. Second round, 10 minutes. Why you bring it 10 minutes?
Because we're trying to finish the shows in a certain time. We don't want the birds. No, it don't. Because if you it come like you adding on 5 minutes for every round. Now, it had some shows that start late. It should be, right? But what? Yeah. Right. Right. But we're looking at. Right. 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 So what I have to say to that is this.
Because let me tell you, I have a good bird, he have a good bird, and we can't crash it.
Yeah, and that's why you don't really see the best.
Sometimes I end up all my trophies because I end up
That is it. But Swine, the reason behind the time changing is based on the time our show start and the weather. That is the only thing that is determining the show. So sometimes our show, ideally our show should start 7 or half 7. It don't start till after 8. Right? And that is what is changing.
When you start the show,
Yeah.
when a final going on, and it starts, you can't
Make sure the next
you can't come, we running for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what's 10 minutes.
Yeah. So
You're not supposed to change it. In case of delay,
So going forward, we will let me propose it. Right, so going forward,
Wait. Like you want to say something here?
right, so going forward, with regards to time, is a very good point, and I think we ironed it out. 15 minutes for each rounds, and second rounds, we will try to accommodate 15 minutes for every second round event, but it should not be less than 10 minutes. Now, what causes the times to change is the weather and the time the show starts, right? Once our show starts on time, I think we could have 15 minutes for every event, which is ideal. But again, we passing it now that the minimum for our finals should be 10 minutes and not 7.5 minutes and 5 minutes and these kind of things. The only way them things going to happen is rain. You understand? So I think we should all agree on that and set a minimum. Let's say a show started late, or we have unforeseen, and you're going to have second rounds as 10 minutes. Make an announcement on the morning that listen, we started late, we're going to have 10 minutes finals if in fact it is happening. Other than that, we are staying with 15 minutes by 15 minutes per event. Right, so men are aware, and it's not a situation where a man go in the ring and then find out he would only go in here for 5 minutes. It should be set in advance. I still don't understand what you're saying, actually. Right. That's a real good idea. That is a good idea, but the thing is, it's taking away the same time and it's more manpower. Because, Lucky, let me tell you, from my experience going into the show, a man might know he in group 2. A man doesn't even know spot bird from wrong bird going on. So, but I'm not throwing the option away, Naki. Yeah. We're looking at ways. Yeah.
This is your suggestion. Since we only is your time, and I'm saving our time, the first 50, that have a time limit? No. That don't have a time limit. And suppose that,
all horses should have a fixed time and start regardless of what. And that eliminates that
Yeah.
Problem with having
That's a real good
If
idea.
it's 7 o'clock, regardless of whatsoever, here we reach 8
Yeah. Start at 7.
Okay, just one minute.
And that's something we had a stamp. But it's happened. Yeah.
Shows no one start. No one can start to
I want to make a suggestion to the fellas who throw in the shows there.
Right, so let me take in a second.
I want to make a suggestion to the fellas who throw in the shows. Right? All the shows show real good this year, right? But not only we as people who show shows have to take some fault too, because that's some of the shows we know setting up this, setting up that. Get the committee to set up this show if you could the night before. Right? So when birdmen come, you can set up people on table already, microphone and they. If you setting up a show, do it the night before or from what kind of 4 o'clock, you have to put some work too. Then they could say, that birdman come in, you can't take your nutrition clothes, bam, bam, bam. But when you still setting up this, when chilling out under the tent saying, now they ain't going to put a pole and thing yet, everybody lagging. If you're in charge of your show, set up your show. Then wait for people to come.
Right, but again, your point though is that is based on the group that having the show. Like we went to Joseph's show, things was waiting. Prisal show, things just be waiting. But it has come down to the group who actually throw in the show. Bar Boys, their show right away. So we had shows we went to when men are arriving, ready to register, and our poll ain't knocked down yet. So that can't come down to all of us here, but that is coming down to the individual groups. You understand? But right. So this is what the group is for now. For men who need assistance, because some groups will be bigger than some. And everybody will assist each other in what way they could to help men. So I know, alright, this team is a small team. I will go earlier and help them. Other men will go earlier and help. Mario, it have men. Look for Prisal show, Mario and Rome. But look at the reason why. These are people who want Prisal from every week shine a bird. It's in their interest as well. And by creating this group, it will help each other. Everybody could be able to help each other. So
I know how we are addressing this, but one of the challenges last year and this year as well, because is that, and I don't know how we are addressing this. It's just men, the support of men.
right. So I think right.
Manpower.
How are you doing that?
Right. So the biggest problem a show does have is manpower. Every show that run efficient is because they have certain amount of manpower, right? I think every show should have a minimum amount of, let's say 12 men or 13 men per show. 2 men can have a show. 3 men cannot have a show to run it efficient, right? It is difficult for certain men who are now starting up and want to have a show in an area to get the manpower and support. But again, I telling men who is just 2 man and 3 man, if it's 2 man and 3 man and you can't get the support from your friends and people who they shy with earlier, best say don't have a show. It's as simple as that, because it's hard to control the group and the amount of people with just a few people. It's hard. So, but again, I think everybody who having shows, the host of shows, should try and assist everybody. So we as Prisal will assist you. We would assist you. And I think that is what would make it easier. So we would say it in such a way that I wouldn't say it's mandatory that you help, but it will help the entire game when you help. At least in 1 round, and especially the final events. That is what it is, right? It have men more suitable for certain things than some. It have certain men would be able to object better than certain men. Men know their stronghold, and I think that is where they could step in and help. So going forward, we agree on the time. There is something going across the board now. We trying our best to keep it 15 minutes by 15 minutes. If on the event, we cannot come on the day just before the event and say, this is only going to be 5 minutes. You understand? We trying, the minimum should be 10 minutes. If it is a fact that is a tiebreaker between 2 birds, what we agreeing to, first 30 first 5 minutes, what is everybody consensus on that?
First to 10, good, yes?
First to 10, what is everybody consensus on that?
I think to take a man a chance to go to
I say 5 minutes. I say 5 minutes.
No, I mean, 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Huh? Yeah, but yeah. Or 5 minutes. So what is? I take exactly. A bird can take half an hour to make the tea roll in. So I think. So I think across the board, we agree with 5 minutes. Yeah. 5 minutes across the board. 5 minutes. Right. Right. 5 minutes across the board, they agreed upon. Right.
I find that should be subject to everybody. I find it should that 5 minutes should be for everybody. On the day of the show, people who hold the show decide, right now you are handling thing on time. I want to push the 10. Alright, push the 10.
Right. So based on the conditions and needs.
Yeah.
But generally we stick with our 5 minutes.
Give us hot sun.
Yeah.
You can run after 10.
First to 10 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
First to 10 or 5
No,
minutes.
it will vary on the day, but the official thing we use it.
You're running 25 minutes. And if it looks like it real hot something, you can put it to 10. It's up to you. If the man who hosting the show can put it to you, right.
No, but the thing is though, well, that is it. That is it. 5 minutes. 5 minutes is what we agree on, right? Right. So. Yeah. Right. Our next one of the issues we had last year is with brown bird and spot bird. We seeing brown bird and spot bird event, spot bird and brown bird event. That is one of the issues we had last year, and we would hope for it not to go into next year. So for men who put their brown bird in a spot bird event and you are caught, you are disqualified. I think we're going to highlight these men. Right? It's not just going to be, well, you try a thing and you get away and you go try in the next show. No.
Funny. Next thing too, no wet bird. Don't spread on your bird.
Yeah.
To come in.
Good point.
It could be hiding spots or
yeah.
No wet bird.
Wow.
Let your bird be dry to go in. Then it's hide spot with that.
I know last year we were saying
that's a good point.
people are bringing suggestions when they come to register, bring your bird.
No. A man can bring a different bird just to walk in.
Going in the ring. Watch your bird.
Going in the ring, the man who's selling them, you don't want to win.
Well, if it come down to that, we have no choice.
Watch your bird properly to make
Right. So Mario, this is falling for you. But what I'm saying is, next year, it's still hard because watch it had some brown bird event had 40 and 50 brown bird in it. It's hard to watch everything. But as big men, the thing going forward is this. If
our spot would win,
decide when, let me tell you how it's going next year. Yeah. Right. But it wouldn't reach to that. Because what I'm proposing here is this. While you will watch the bird from the arena going in, right? But again, with that large amount of birds, you might miss. But you could miss, right? If in fact a man bird a spot bird end up in the brown bird category, what I am doing in Crystal is I am taking a picture of that man and that bird, and I am highlighting him beside being disqualified. So going forward, save yourself the embarrassment and don't do it. You understand? Now that is what I propose. Exactly. Right? And I think the embarrassing part of it would take a toll on men running it straight. Right? Once a bird, right. So good point. Right. So once a bird is beyond half of a bird is more black than it is brown, it is no longer a spot bird. And what we're trying to do is match a bird that is with many spots with another bird that is with many spots compared to a bird with one spot with a bird that has many spots. We will try to match them, right? But that is the only solution to that. And next thing is, one of the issues is a 7/8 bird winning a spot bird trophy. Now we had issues with that. Now what shows should do, if on the day you have an extra trophy, what we did in pre-sale, we had Swine donated a couple extra trophies and we put it for 7/8. Now it doesn't have to be many extra trophies, it could just be one, because it doesn't really have plenty 7/8 birds, but it should not be left out. So if we have one trophy assigned for a 7/8 bird and just our first place, I think that would alleviate that problem, right? So if not on the morning, you don't have the extra trophy, make it clear we don't have this event on this day. You understand? Or tell men a few days in advance we're not getting these trophies, and this can happen, so men wouldn't come with a 7/8 bird or half, 3/4 return bird on the day, right? So that is one of the things I think we iron out here. Anything, any suggestions? Is that before hunting? Right. So as a promoter, before, on the day, no, but on the day, like let's say a few days before, you make an announcement saying, listen, we have X amount of trophies, we have one trophy for the 7/8 bird, or we have none. So men will know beforehand, don't come with that bird because we don't have an event for that bird. You understand? Exactly. Exactly. Right?
So clarify that before it happens.
Right.
Before the day on the day.
You alone come with one. When you
Yeah, you don't really ready?
go back to your body.
You don't hang it any pole and make it back down.
Yeah, so well, the rules. Right, so I'll post back the BRATT rules where we had simulated. But it have things on it would change now. It have things to add on with this discussion. So I would make the adjustments. I'll put it on the BRATT chat, and we can have a little discussion on it to just finalize a few things. But I think we cover plenty of the things here today. Suggestions? What is people input?
The only thing I would like to say on something I watched the shows this year, and I was proud of it, and I was pleased of it, is men who keep in shows, right?
Right.
I know we have it personal, be fun and whatever. Right. Keep all more brother with now because it has sometimes, like, young Shibo, we just go every single show.
Right.
Even we don't even have a proper boat to enter, we enter in the show with a boat. We pay now when I'm going. And then I go other shows where a man might keep, and a man can have the same so the brother that a man saying because he's not his favorite. So he's not named white, he's named a bushman. So that's why they're in Goli. Nah, we don't do that.
But you have a good point. But look at it here today.
Because everybody, we just want to support each other, take money to keep the place going. We need to keep that love and that brotherhood towards everybody. No favorite bushman, no favorite boy, no favorite Seago in the West. Don't do that.
But just join to your point,
love
right?
Everybody.
Join to your point. This year was asking all men who are interested in hosting a show, come out. And who do we have here? We have probably half.
Because
so let me be real.
Some of them only going to get treated this year.
Yeah.
The free they will come and try a show next year because they realize it's not a cabal. They go have a show going on here. I just try to reference.
Yeah, no.
Why you say? Me going on now because me ain't like Muslim too much. All the men who's not with whitey, I will tell that show ain't going. So, and that take place this whole season. And that unbox certain shows a little bit to some men, and that will make it some men say, well, I might be able to do it.
But you see, you're right. But you have to look at it like this. Plenty of these shows was first timers last year. And it's until you do one and you do another one, you will see where you fall short and you would step up. So I don't want to criticize most of the first timers last year because they try, you understand? And having something still better than not having nothing. It is take a real effort to have a show. Ole was our first time, Ole no, Joseph, first time, Ole no, Bar Boys. But it is all come down to manpower. When you have a big team, it is run better than when you have two or three fellas. So what this is now is just encouraging guys who have a small team to widen your team. Try and, right, this fella living close to you, try and form a group, a bigger group to manage the thing better. And that is where it's coming down to.
Well, support each other.
Yeah, support each other at that point.
And I think we had a season last year, season shows. Because like Rambo shows. We had to play down right and then you had a pop your hand.
Right.
I think with Brad and we show after the Mari 50 done this.
Right.
I find that you better think it's like every 50.
Yeah, that is, yeah. So all this,
50 is stuff now.
right.
And that is it.
So all this would be added to the BRATT rules that we had put on. All these new things going to so it will be in paper for men to know. It wouldn't be something that come up on the day. Right? Right. So anything else? While we dealing with the format.
Bring out all the show.
Any contribution?
All I want some girls in short skirt doing so one another. Yeah. Now you are watching Nari.
Sorry?
You're sure?
Within the show now.
Yeah.
Advance on 2 weeks.
It must have at least 1 or 2 weekends in between. Yeah. No, now we have a format. We could do adjusting, but we still leaving the available dates for people who wasn't here today to try and fall in. What I am saying is this roster that we schedule here today is going up for the rest of the month for December. If by the end of the year nobody doesn't fill in the dates, the openings, it is closed off by the end of this year because we're not going into next year with I might have a show, I might not have a show or anything like that. So we're still giving a 30-day period for men to confirm a date because not everybody can make it this morning. You understand? So I'm still leaving it open. Where's the other thoughts?
Yeah, that's a plan.
Right? So I think across the board we clear? Yeah. Right. So Pre-Sal having a new event added into the mix in Pre-Sal this year. This is something I didn't tell anybody. So we're having a cage bred only event for Pre-Sal this year.
Listen, Budi, the pop-up show we had in Rio Claro, Budi now indicating to me here that he want to have a full-scale show, but he want to have it on the 6th of June.
Well, we'll look at the date and
So
fully
look at that
confirm
date
it.
for Budi and
Wrong. So back to what I was saying about Pre-Sal going to try a new event, which is a cage bred only event.
First of its kind.
Yeah. On the show day itself, we are going
Only
to
cage bred, it must have a ring on its foot.
must have a seal ring on the foot, not a. Will be still open to having black and brown, but it doesn't have many black right now. But it's something we realized trending over the last 2 seasons that it have a lot of cage bred birds entering. Now it wouldn't change the fact that a cage bred bird still entering in the brown bird arena, but this is just an added event for men who have cage bred birds to highlight it. You could still enter. Yeah. Well, not as many compared to brown. Every year there's have more brown than black. Yeah. But it's still in the air. It's nothing confirmed on it. It's still open to suggestions and tweaking to the way we having it. Yeah. But if it is right. Yeah, no. But if it is, it's something I know putting together. So it's something we can figure out along the way. But it's something we want to highlight that it have so many in the country, and it's our way going forward. Right. So I think we basically cover everything on shows. Anybody have any suggestions? Is the 30-day window too big for men to still be able to fall in? Right, so when the roster come out, again we agree on if men had to change the date, the first option is switching with another team, and then after that we look at changing. Right? No, we're not allowing men to change. We try our best for men not to change to upset everybody else. So if it is in fact that you change, more than likely you are going down to the back. We're not going to move a man show who is set on a weekend and bring a show close to that, because you could hold out. So if you know you can't hold on, expect that your date will now be moved further away from the group of shows, to try and not disrupt everybody else who show pretty much set their date. Right? That is one of the final things. Yeah. Right. So ideally, what we start by this now is the show season is starting the weekend after Carnival, right? And ending so far we have a cutoff date, the West Side show, which is the 10th of August. But the cutoff now could be changed a bit. But ideally we looking to try and start every season just after Carnival. So give enough birds time to come out and molt, harden up, and we're looking at March. Generally March is the time. Now, why I'll still leave everything open is because we didn't know how many shows we was having this year, and if it is a case that we had to start it earlier to stretch the season longer and spread it out. Right. Right. The whole system behind this year is not about controlling the game. This year is just bringing some kind of organization to the thing, right? We try the racing. If you look at racing the year before, which was 2022 compared to 2023 compared to 2024, the racing dropped significantly this year. And the reason behind that is shows. I would be straight and tell earlier, it had many shows this year, had the most shows probably in the history of the country. And if we structure it right, we could have the same amount and we could increase on the racing. But we can't expect to have show every weekend and expect to see big amount of racing. Now, it have plenty men who prefer to go to a show than run a race. And to be honest, I believe racing is still the pinnacle of mining birds, right? However, no race could encourage a crowd that a show could do. So it's a balancing act between both, and we had to try and find a way to keep it fair to both sides of the game, right? So for men who think we're trying to control, it's not even that. It's just trying to put some organization and structure into it to make both things better. That is what this year is about, right? It's unfortunate that everybody couldn't attend, but we're just dealing with who here and who here at the moment. In this bird game is a lot of men who just talk, I being straight, and who vex, they could say what they want. Plenty of opinions, this happen, and they will sit in the corner and complain, but they can't do anything. They don't do anything, right? They will just talk and talk and talk, but offer no solution to the problem. They are very passionate about racing. They have men who are very, very, very passionate about racing and saying the competitions are killing the game. But where are you? Where is your voice today? Tell us how we could adjust doing something that we like to at least make the racing better or do something for you. I will get criticism after this, but I honestly don't care, because I doing this for as part of the sport that I like, and I still have respect for other people to try and give them their space to do their thing. So
and the scene super is going on. I would like them to intervene when the objective is complete.
That is right. True. When men, right. That is a ticklish issue. And why I would say is a ticklish. Right. So while I would say is a ticklish issue, right? I will just draw a reference to what happened here recently. I just help anybody. I will object and call for anybody on the day just to make a race happen, right? And I had an issue recently where two of my partners, one running each other. And I I was calling one bird. And I actually telling the next man, hey, you miss a roll. You understand? Because he's a green man, he knows start. You understand? You see him making a mistake, helping him along the way. And really and truly, that is contradictory. What I doing there? I calling on one side, but I telling a man on the next side, hey, you miss a roll. You understand? That is not how it's supposed to be, you know. You understand? It's right. But at the end of the day, you know how it end up? Right. Right, no, but it end up contradictory because right now, let me tell you how it end up. One faction believe I thief for the next one. So he's not partners with me again. But this is the issues they just had to deal with. And next thing we have here, why I realize recent drop, right? Right, but right. Yeah. Right. Right. You see, now everybody could separate the personalities and that is only understandable. Down to racing, one of the critics or one of the problems that we see in racing, and we're looking at from 10-15 years ago to now, is the game has become more friendly. I wouldn't run this man because me and he is partners, and this is one of the things we had to try and move, because you're running a race against somebody, that don't mean to say always enemies. You want to see what your bird could do, and that person bird in form right now, and you want to see what your bird to do. So I think we have to move away from that mentality, because you running a man, that don't mean to say use enemies. So the Guyana issue is a real touchy issue, because if I talk about what I seen in Guyana and how things happen, people, the first thing they're going to think is I'm trying to change the game to Guyanese style, right? And it's not that, but when you watch a well-oiled machine work and you see one that is not working here, you must want to say, let me try this or let me do that. But I will get criticized before I even put the suggestion out. Men already saying I'm going to change things to Guyanese way. But if you look at what happens in Guyana, every weekend there's an event in Guyana. There's a large from the area, even men driving for 2 and 3 hours to watch a race, you know. It's a different thing over there. But in Guyana, it's a culture difference. Birds in Guyana sell for way more money than Trinidad. And the dollar for dollar value in Guyana compared to US is bigger than Trinidad. So the motivation there. So where the motivation is, it obviously men will take it more serious. Now, we can't move away from the big cage, and we had a discussion in chat the other day, but this is what is identify us. The cage, the role, if we had to be competitive on the international market, which is New York and probably Holland, we have to change our role. We had to change our format. But this is how we identify. We don't come out 6 in the morning, we just come out 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. We're more relaxed. We prefer to run a marathon race rather than a 100-meter dash, because that is what we identify as. But unless we change or we go closer to what other people are doing, we will nowhere ever be on the map. So I will not, saying this going forward, right? I will not tell a man it's mandatory to come pre-sal and run 15 minutes race. But I am telling you personally, my view, this could be not the view of anybody else here, but my view is I am not running my bird for more than 15 minutes. I train my birds for competition, which is 15 minutes, and I am running 15 minutes race here next year. And whoever wants a 15 minutes race with me will get it. It's up to the person I am going against. I am not running no race next year that I cannot get 2 notes, because I cannot train a bird to not sing 2 notes but sing 3 and above. So, but again, it is optional. If I have somebody else who have my opinion and want to run me, and we agree upon something, this is the way it is going to happen next year. I am telling you, Guyanese birds are going to be running here next year. I given a little peek at what happening, and Guyanese format is going to be running here next year. But it will be happening with agreed parties. You understand? And we are not. But in the by saying this, I'm not saying that we are not allowing half an hour racing. Half an hour racing is what this game is about. This is what we are accustomed to. This is what we identify as. But in adjusting the game, let's just look at simple as cricket. When Test cricket came about, they introduced in one-day cricket, big uproar all over the world that it is going to spoil Test cricket, and they move away from that. Now the game has evolved to 2020, and even one-day internationals not focused upon. So again, we condemning something that we don't know about. Typical Trinidad, right? We never tried it, or we are not doing it. So it is easier to criticize and drop it without even trying it. Now, if people see the 15 minutes racing Because let me be honest here, everybody who here, how many of us would stand up and watch a race for an entire half an hour? It have not one person here going stand up and say, I watching this race from the start to the finish. And then, but we're looking at the comparisons 15, 20 years ago to now. A race, racing has become way more common now. So a man bird mightn't be informed to run an next man bird, but he go run it to get a race to get a score, right? The prestige in racing has dropped because years ago, the best at Presal will go against the best in Don Miguel. The best at Naparima will go against the best in Presal. And there was prestige and hype behind it, and that is where men will stand up and watch a race for half an hour. But let me face the facts, that gone. That gone. And the racers and them is to blame because a lot of them sit in a corner and complain rather than come out and try and help the situation and go forward. But per side racing, we come here to deal with competition today, right? And as long as competition is alive, I will have an input in it, and it wouldn't be input where my opinion only. That's why we gather here today, and everybody input will make it better than one man input. So, adding to that, anybody want to put any addition before we wrap up?
So we today I say with the trophy, so we are agreeing that the 7 people are trophy who haven't shows will sponsor each other.
Yeah, I think it's mandatory. We're gonna make it mandatory that every committee should sponsor a trophy, mandatory, one trophy for each event. It will help. Yeah, for one event, for one thing on the day. Each show is mandatory that you sponsor because shows make money. And I don't want to tell people how to spend their money or what to do. They're not forced to put it back into the game. But it is mandatory that everybody support each other in the shows, and you sponsor each organization sponsor one trophy to another event on the day. It will help overall, right? Yeah, we expect 8 trophies or 10 trophies, like that.
Yeah. Unification coming together now. That will kind of put a little unification back into the thing. That one trophy, that one event, whatever trophy. Yeah.
Fine.
When a man running a boat, right?
Look at what he is.
Man running a boat, right?
Yeah.
Man running a boat, right? When they go to run a boat, why you stay put? They call in a 1 boat and a 2 boat. Like 1. They get the same boat, they put them in a 2. How we know how to object a boat?
And that's what we need. Same person. You see, no. Yeah. And this is where embarrassment. You see when you embarrass somebody, they gonna have it in their mind to not do it again. It must have a consequence for your action. I believe once you have consequences for your action, it will change things. So it's a good point, and I think highlight the person. Highlight is the only way. Miss anything? You miss anything? You think we miss anything? Right, so moving along, I think we pretty much wrap up everything. Anybody, any contribution, anything you feel we missed?
All of you only can say, I didn't say that and we didn't say that.
Yeah.
So all what's that? Oh, right. Well, let me start here now. Let me start behind the basket. So if all have anything to say, and let's think, probably we can get and out one time. We will try our best for Naki. That's why we are men like you are wrong.
You see, we can only watch Naki, we can only try.
We're going to try. And all your suggestions and opinions will be welcome. Whatever, you know what I mean? Our shortcomings. Well, look, we are going to that. We just call it Bato.
Everybody, let's have food and drinks. Everybody, come in and participate in it.
We'll take a little something now. It's nothing big, but
Yeah.
it's the festive time of the year. So next time I'm going to bring ham and bread.